I have a response.
Excuse me?
I have a response to this.
This is the, let's see, is Jerry's with us too, right?
Yes, he
The
is.
chief isn't, do we know what his status is? Okay. This is the monthly regular board of directors meeting of the NOSD. Called the meeting to order at, well, I'm showing 5:28.
I'm showing 5:32 right here.
What do you show?
529.
Well, just put to 29.
Okay, I show 5:29.
So we'll just go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll say at 5:29. The first action is approval of the agenda. Let me preface that by saying that this is being recorded.
Yes.
Approval of the agenda is the first item. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Do we need to add this to the agenda?
If you want, I don't know where you're gonna put it. I mean, it's part of the district report.
Okay.
So
That
just,
In the district.
Okay,
yeah, we can
that's fine.
address it there.
That's fine.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right. Yes, we do not have any this evening. I don't believe.
Having a meeting.
Is he on?
Yeah, he just showed up.
Michael, so
Michael. Okay.
Does Michael want to identify himself?
Yeah, yes. Would you like to identify yourself or would you rather not?
oh, I can.
We did.
So it says here, this person doesn't have a Teams account. We can't verify their identity.
That could be a bot.
Okay, well, welcome in. So, any public comments? There being none, board questions, comments, and discussion. If there are none at this time, the next item is review of the minutes of January 15th, 2026, regular board meeting minutes. And I have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
I did not see anything when I read the minutes earlier today. Other than to observe that Michael Unverified was at the last meeting. Do we have a policy around unverified people attending?
Well, it would be a meetings log.
In the meetings law?
I'm not sure if you can boot somebody off or you can identify themselves.
And it could be somebody anywhere in the county or anywhere else for that matter. We don't know.
That's correct.
So they're all entitled to
Oh, yeah.
attend or listen in. Any discussion of the minutes? All right, if there's no further discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes of January 15th, 2026 as written, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 7, December 31st, 2025, new financial documents for review. And January 31st, 2026, same subject. This will require a board action and a motion to accept the new financial documents.
I move that we accept both the December and the January financial documents.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Why are we seeing December?
We didn't have a single board meeting.
John's request was to see the
Oh.
previous month, so you could compare the two documents, so.
Now it's-
December. Is
Yeah,
Okay,
but you accept it.
thank you.
yeah, let's be able to compare. And look at it from a trends point of view.
I said this last month, but it is awkward to look at these online. Because this one is you're gonna have to turn your head sideways and move it up and down on the screen.
It's because it's still on and it's not attached to.
Yeah.
It's easy enough, at least on my computers, to rotate them.
Huh.
Next month, scan it to me, see if I can, take it.
Turn it.
It just might be the way his computer is set up.
Yeah.
Any questions? It is a new form.
It's got more information than the one in December.
Yeah,
Is that more to your life, you like this?
I like the January.
What's the difference?
There are more pages.
More pages, instead of just having the budget document. First page, it now has the personnel services disbursement. And it has the FCC, where they're at. And then-
That's this page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it has, of course, page 8, which is about our bank account. About.
I personally kind of like it. You guys have done a good job.
I think it has all the relevant stuff on there.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't know how the rest of the board feels. I also like the idea of having the prior month and the current month to look at it as a trend. Just that one page. I know you provided 2, I think. Yeah, well,
So you want.
that'll be fine. That would be fine.
Pages.
Both pages. But I don't know, how does the rest of the board feel? You want to see a prior month so you can kind of have an idea of trends?
Now that I know that that's why it's there, I like it.
Okay. That's not too hard to do. Okay. Jim or Jerry, any comment?
That's good. It's fine.
Okay. Then, all in favor of accepting the January 31st new financial documents for approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. January 2026 board audit account payable.
What's the staff Christmas bonus and visa something?
Where, you remember, or
It's $2,534.60 on the first page, just under Tillamook PUD janitorial supplies before United Parcel Person service shipping expenses.
so that's the $100 gift card that each staff member gets, and then it's just the rest of the visa payment.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So down towards the bottom, the automation group, the monthly telemetry maintenance, is that going to be a monthly recurring fee or,
Yeah, it has been for,
okay,
it has been
for
for
quite some time,
14 years, yeah.
14 years?
It started out at 900, then it went to
Okay.
1,000.
Jan, is that the annual liability insurance payment or is that semi-annual? The special district insurance services.
And
Annual.
Thanks.
The yeah, it's an eye-popping number.
that's with our good thing, but with this too.
It's good to have insurance.
You know offhand what it was last year? The kind of a percentage increase?
Not off the top of my head.
Just curious. As all those insurance rates are going up.
I don't.
Yeah, I'd be guessing, I think for some reason 8%. It's guessing.
Do you think that our catastrophic failure down at the main pump station and the cost of that and the insurance money that we received affected the new rate structure at all?
We haven't got the new rate structure yet.
Okay, this is, I mean, you know, I'm kind of wondering because I know sometimes in the health industry, you have a small organization that has a lot of major problems, cancer, heart, they're going to start boosting your rates because you're not within their confines as far as them being able to make a profit.
Yeah, we haven't received the new rates from SDI.
I don't, like I said, not certain or clear to me that that payment would have come out of our liability policy. It wasn't, we weren't liable to anything before. That was property damage. That was an event.
Okay, so this is only liability.
I mean, it could be a comprehensive general liability policy that includes property damage. I just can't tell from the entry.
Right, right. That's a very good question though. As far as whether this is comprehensive or liability.
Yeah, and I can show.
Okay.
But that's the only one we pay.
That's the only insurance we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Then it would be a comprehensive policy to include property damage. So I'll retract the question.
Yeah.
So that's for the coming year. To cover, well, it was paid on January 28th, right?
yeah, but that was already for this budgeted year. We will get another one next month. Or for an estimate what the new rate will be for the new fiscal year. Yeah, so we don't have.
So we'll have an estimate, but
Yes,
this covers this 2026 calendar year? Or what period does this cover?
Calendar.
The calendar year for 2026. Okay. All right. Okay. Any
Yes.
other questions?
the rate was set before if that makes more sense.
So we budgeted for that last year.
We won't know if it affects our rates until we estimate the budget for 2027.
Okay. I guess if there's no further questions and I haven't muddled things even more. District report.
All right, so we got a few things we're gonna get into here, but, on the IGA, I did get a email today where Clark backed up the second request for, Netarts Water District to comment if they have any comments on the red line version that the board approved. So we're still waiting to hear back where they're at on that, so. Bayside surveying, I'll step back, Bayside surveying hasn't completed the, survey yet at tax lot 300 down on 131 across from Terra Senior. He told me he's just waiting for better weather. It's not an emergency to get done. So on some of the stuff that's on the handout, we received a call from the owner of tax lot 900 down off Crab Avenue and 4th Street. That's what you and I talked about the other day, Jim. We discovered in there that we have a sewer line. What we discovered was there was encroachment onto it. There was a deck over top of the clean out portion. There was some confusion of where one of the laterals went to tax lot 1000. So the crew went down with our inspection video, inspection equipment, located everything. Through this process, the property owner at tax lot 900 had more questions, and tax lot 800 right before him is wanting to build on the property or won't let them drive on through their property, get to his in the back. But it used to be like an alleyway. It was right away at one point. Come to find out, the county at some department, I don't know if it was planning or public works, they vacated that right of way. And they vacated it, deeded it to the property owners. So there's like 4 property owners that received footage off of that vacated 16 feet. So the property to the north, which has sewer on into this sewer line, what is that tax lot? 1200. And then, so all of those 4 properties are affected by this vacation by the county. Only we weren't notified, nothing in our files, nothing that we can find that said that we were notified by the county so that we could have a right to an easement or utility easement. So they vacated the property. Now the property owners own it. Only now we have a public sewer line with no legal access to it, which is a problem. And I spoke to legal counsel, I spoke to the county, Chris Lady and them, and they're trying to decipher what's going on and when it happened. Closest we found so far, it was like back in the 80s that this was done. They can't find the records on it other than you have an attachment of the deed. I think that was the deed that,
Warranty deed.
yes. So I don't really know what a warranty deed was, but had to do with giving the property owners a certain footage. Is that what I'm gonna turn to the lawyers for that, but
Yeah, that was 1976.
okay, 76.
No.
So a lot of this stuff came in piecemeal as we were working with the county to try to get all the information that we needed. We started with the tax assessor's office surveyor. This is what they gave us, was the attachments, the one that I drew on that showed where our sewer line approximately lays. The sewer line does not go into the last tax lot as far as I thought it did. It pretty much stops on the Phillips property or which is locked in now.
So,
And,
so how does the Stone property get sewer service? Where's their connection? Stone?
It'd be a lot.
So Stone, so when the sewer line was laid in, where the green line's at, it came out, it made a turn and it went into Stone's property. But by moving the property lines, it now crosses tax lot the Phillips property.
Right,
So there's no easement to cross their lateral over to the other lot.
right. But my question was, how does the farthest, that would be the farthest west property, the Stone property, where is their connection?
That's what I'm trying to explain.
So-
Their connection is actually runs through the Phillip property, which would be tax lot 900.
So it comes at kind of at a weird angle off of there.
It'll come off, yeah, it comes off straight, then it bends over to here. And then theirs comes straight down and there's one that
So-
goes straight up to them.
The situation is we now have a public sewer line with laterals running off of it. It looks like even the what's called Gilbreth, the one on the north.
Mhm.
That now comes off that sewer line, runs through the Phillips property, which is actually locked in. And it goes up. So all these, it looks like 3 lots. Those 2 lots run through the Phillips property. I'm gonna refer to it what it says on the map there. So there's no easements to run sewer lines through one person's property, one person. And then if the first one where it says St. Helen, isn't allowing anybody to use that for a driveway or an access or sewer, it's kind of a mess. We need an easement back, because right now, the Phillips property, the end of the sewer line is, the clean out is right at his property line. And right now, he's got a fish cleaning station plumbed into the clean out, which is a violation, because that's a second of it. But we don't have an easement for that property, and we can't access the end of the line because there's a deck built over it.
at the time.
So, I finally got all the information over to Clark. He did respond. I don't really agree with his response. It is considered a public sewer by DEQ. If you have more than one property connected to a lateral, it becomes a public sewer. Doesn't matter the size of it. And this is an 8-inch sewer line, just so you know. So our authority now, what I believe, stops out in 4th Street, off on Manhole and 4th Street.
It seems to me that we should ask for easements. And it seems to me that the bait, as it were, for them to grant us easements at no cost,
The incentive,
the incentive
yeah.
is that if they don't grant that, then we have to hook up in other ways, and they would have to pay for those hookups.
So what you're saying is, if they won't give us the easements for the existing sewer lines, we just cut it off out of 4th Street,
Yeah,
which makes their places uninhabitable.
right. And then they can pay to connect,
The only one that has an option to rehook up would be the lot to the north,
right?
and there is no sewer lines that run on Crab for those tax lot 800, 900, and 1000. There's no sewer
But-
line. in that
Oh, there's no
section.
sewer line there,
No, not out in the street.
so there's no way for them to hook up.
No. Plus, I don't believe there's any parking out there either. Jim probably knows that little area better than I do, but this is,
I'm not sure how much I can discuss it because it's
How much would?
the properties that we're talking about are close, very close to my house.
Okay,
And there is more to the story
okay.
Okay,
than just
So you have a personal interest in this, so you would have to exclude?
Well, I don't really have a personal interest. It's just I have personal knowledge of other factors that are involved in the negotiation between the two parties that we're talking about here. And that's
Well, I do
that's
know
up for
Rick Lofton, I think his name's Lofton.
Rick Laughlin.
Laughlin.
It's a
According to the county, he's applying for a easement, basically a alley access road easement to his property through Taxon 800.
Which is the
Right.
one farthest to the east.
Yes, that's correct. The one that abuts up to 4th Street.
Okay. And the owner there, Laughlin, doesn't want to grant that, or?
So
We don't know.
I want to throw a wrench into this,
Okay.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, but this warranty deed grants this piece of property, the 16 feet from one end to the other to the owners as tenants in common, which means they all own it. Isn't that true, Jerry?
That's what tenants in common means, yes.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not a real estate attorney, and it's been a long time since I took estates. But it seems like that needs to be resolved early on, because when you look at this piece, you think that they own that property. Yeah, they have an interest in it, but so do the other folks in the adjoining lots have an interest in that property that they would consider theirs, according to the warranty deed.
But before we have to get into any of that, Dan, as I understood what the legal memo said, is that if this was done in the ordinary course, then the conveyances of the notices would have automatically made a statement that any utility easements are preserved. And if we can find those notices, then everything else falls into place, because basically they took that property or their interests subject to the easement. That's how I read his memo, is if we find a copy of the notice in the time frame we're talking about, and it was done the way the ordinance says that it should be done, then the notices should include just basically a boilerplate statement that those easements, that it's subject to easements. And also a warranty deed is somebody conveys and warrants all the interest that they have to someone else. And usually that would include being subject to things like easements. So I don't know how much we have to get into the weeds before we find out just exactly what the notices said at the time of this vacation.
We've tried to acquire the notices. Both county offices have told us they don't exist. They can't find them.
But they didn't go into the, well, what is Clark talking about as if there was something somewhere else to look?
Well, what he's talking about is exactly what Tillamook County Public Works Chris Lady told me. They have a way of getting that information, only they're running into a dead end in their own department. They can't find it. They don't know if it exists. So then I guess the option, I think, that legal counsel was talking about, our legal counsel, was going through the records of the commissioners.
Yeah,
Yeah, but nothing was issued. Even the county staff that works at the Public Works and Road Department, and also in the tax assessor surveyor's office, they don't have any records of vacation of anything. They show this is where we got the information, but they don't show where the commissioners had actually vacated it. It's really quite confusing. That's why all this stuff's coming in at such a late date. We've been trying to figure out since last week if this was an actual road vacation. We just went through one in Netarts here this last summer, where PUD and us, we had to get the easement for the property owner, which we did when the county vacated that road right away. But they don't have any record of this, except for I don't know how, because I think this states 3rd Street. that what this is stating on the warranty deed? That they basically vacated
No, but
Third Street?
I think that's, could be just the small piece, the eastern 1/3 of the vacated street, which is Third Street, which is just that little tiny chunk in the middle that's attached to the long 16-foot wide piece is what that's referring to, because it doesn't appear that the Third Street vacation generally doesn't have very much to do with the problem that we're dealing with, which is
Where do you
this
see Third?
16.
Where do you see Third Street? You have Second, Fourth, and Fifth. Third Street stops on the other side.
It's drawn on the map as a dotted line. And it must have,
Oh, I see.
must have been
Okay.
vacated at some.
Yeah,
I stand corrected. I see.
yeah, see where I'm talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that tends to confuse things a little bit, but thank you, Jerry. I haven't looked through the materials that we just received, but my understanding is that a warranty deed is the best deed you can get as far as deeds are concerned. And there should have been some history when that was granted as a warranty deed somewhere, somehow.
So this warranty deed came from Tillamook County Public Works Department. So that's where part of it came from the surveyors and the tax assessors. The other part, because they didn't have this, and then so Chris sent this guy out that does this. They came up with this, but they have nothing else in the file. They have no more information.
So who is Clara Groschall?
Somebody from
76.
76.
That was the grantor who apparently owned the property,
Well, you have
because she granted the warranty deed to all these other parties. But
Jim,
anyway,
I'm picking up your conversation if you're meaning it to be confidential.
Okay.
anyway, I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time on it, but it.
Well, this is
be worth-
became a higher priority than even the IJ and other stuff we look at. Because we now have a sewer line, a public sewer line with no easement access. And we have the property owners encroaching on to the sewer line, but there's nothing in their files that show that they could. So they're building on top of it. We have no way to stop them without getting an easement, I believe. So,
And no way to service that line, should it need servicing.
right, because now we cannot cross because we have no legal easement to go in there, not even to shoot the camera up in there is illegal.
What is Clark recommending?
Well, he kind of gave a generic, he thinks that we can just turn it into a private line. One of his suggestions was that just make them responsible for it, make that as a private sewer line. Only I believe, and I was working on it this afternoon with DEQ to verify that anything more than one connection becomes a public sewer. You have 4 lots connected to this sewer line.
Okay.
So, either it's a complete illegal line or we don't have any legal authority to get in there. But when this line was put in, that was a county right of way. So no easement was required until they vacated it.
Jim, is everything overhead as far as PUD is concerned in that area? Nothing is underground.
Right.
Okay,
We'd have to get a locate, we'd have to call KT.
so, but obviously
Follow some cable.
this also affects Netarts water.
Paperwork.
I don't know if the water line,
The easement.
their water line can run out in Crab
Yeah,
and up Moore Street. I don't know where their water. So,
okay.
Well, I
but
guess
did not find any.
going back to Simeon's original suggestion, I guess, maybe, first of all, write down, describe what it is we would like to have happen. What's the best solution to this from our standpoint in terms of an end result, not how we get there. But basically, for us, the best result would be to have an easement that allows us access to that and also allows us to enforce, not building on it so we can preserve our access to it. Just write that down and go to the property owners, have a meeting with them and say, this is where we think we need to go. It's necessary so that we can serve you, and it's the normal thing that would have happened if records had been kept properly, when all of this happened. And just say, so what we would like to do, propose to you, is that we all just agree to make this the way that we need it to be to keep providing you service, and find out and just say, characterize that as a preliminary meeting to find out what their response to that is. And if it's basically, well, yeah, we want to keep our sewer and we get it, and let's make this happen, then we have Clark drop the legal documents and make it happen. If there's a problem after that meeting or through that meeting, then let's come back and figure out options for solving it. But before we try to figure out all the forks in the road, let's see if we can do it the easy way and get surprised by having them agree to it, because it's to our mutual benefit.
Jerry, if, I don't know how we could figure this out, but if it turns out that the county never informed the sewer district back in 76, how does that change the situation?
Well, I think it relates kind of to Clark's suggestion that essentially we've got adverse possession of the right to have the pipe there. Because none of that will matter if we've had it there, everybody knew we had it there, and nobody objected. Then we've got adverse possession. But I don't know how much that means we also have access. It may just mean we have the right to have the pipe there. That doesn't really answer your question, but I think that horse is so far out of the gate that there's really no way to come back and try to enforce it. We aren't going to have any right of action to sue the county for it. And I don't think we're going to have any right of action to void the vacation, because we've gone decades without objecting to it. Even though we didn't have notice, I think it's not likely anyone's going to let us up and everything and go back to the way things were as if we had gotten notice 30 years ago. And that's just my sense.
There's one other complication. If you're gonna tax lot 900, it's gonna be required to give 2 more easements through his lot.
Which
One
one's
for
900?
The middle one.
The middle.
Okay.
So the one in the middle, he has a lateral running through his lot over to tax lot 1000 to the west. And then into tax lot, I think it's 1200 to the north. So that one tax lot 900 would make an NOSD easement for our main line, and then he would have to grant the other 2 lots for the existing laterals that run to their lots, because that's now all his. That's where everything is up into.
And you think Clark's suggestion of making it all private runs up against a definition somewhere that if there's multiple connections, it's public as a matter of law?
Yes. Which I'm verifying that. That's what our public works design standards said. And it references DEQ's requirements. So I'm trying to get the actual information from DEQ right now.
Okay.
So
So we couldn't waive it because it might be something that's required by DEQ.
So we could have privatized that, like I told Clark after the fact, when he sent that memo out. If it was just one house hooked to it, we could just make it a private lateral and then walk away. But we can't, because in tax lot 900, the middle lot, it's got 2 more laterals running out of it to 2 different properties. So the ask for tax lot 900 will be greater than the ask for the rest of the lots.
Phillips is 900, right?
Yeah. So if we follow Jerry's suggestion and approach these property owners, do we do that in writing? Do we ask Clark to write that up? and then mail it to them? What would be the form of that contract?
So that was gonna be the main, what's our next step to do? Here's the problem. So do we try to do it the district, or do we send it to legal counsel to all four of these affected property owners?
I think we should start at the de-escalation mode and send it from the district and just say, hey, this has come to our attention and we need to have a meeting about that. And not start off with the attorney stuff, because I think that's gonna put them on the defensive. And it costs our district, obviously.
Did you say there is an encroachment on this theoretical easement by somebody who has built, one of these owners that has built a deck or something?
Yeah, so the one that says Phillips here, but it's not it, but if we want to look at the one I put the green sewer line on. So that one has a deck that comes out into that right of what used to be a right of way. And it actually goes all the way over into tax lot 1,000
Which one's 1,000?
is the
Gilbert
stone.
Stone.
Yeah,
Oh,
the one that says stone.
The deck goes all the way over there.
Yeah, the deck crosses over.
And you said the clean out is below
Is
the deck?
under that deck. So if you see that dot right there under the 89 degrees,
Yeah,
that's approximately where our sewer line clean out is in that location. But in the green line.
but that's where his deck is.
And his deck is completely over that.
Okay.
And, but the lateral would be to the right of that mark. And it goes now across, it comes out, makes an elbow and goes over to tax lot 1,000. Well, that used to stay right in that right of way. Well, it's not the right of way anymore. It's now in tax lot 900.
so that if the owner of the lot 900 grants the easement, is his deck has to be removed.
So our standard easements, they can build non-permanent structures with district approval. So that we can put in there, an understanding that if we have to come in there and repair the line, that we can take their deck out at their expense. We don't have to put it back. It's generally, if they have a shed, we push it out of the way or whatever, but it's not an art,
What is the condition of the deck? Is that
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just wondering, there are decks and there are decks.
It was not, it was in disrepair.
Excuse me?
It is in disrepair.
So it's in bad shape.
So, I mean, it's not like it's a concrete,
No, it's just wooden.
Okay.
Or anything that would be.
all right,
So that tax lot 900, the middle one, it now has a sewer line going up to the Gilbert. So it now crosses through tax lot 900 as well to get to that property.
As well as there's another line under the stone.
Yes, exactly. So there are three laterals right there off of this line in tax lot 900. Without easements to go to any of these other lots.
So we need an easement across the property next to Fourth. We need an easement in tax lot 900.
No, we need a easement for that main line from tax lot 900 out to 4th Street.
But that's two properties that it crosses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think,
Because the line into both Gilbreth and Stone are laterals off of.
so those two property owners would need easements from tax lot 900
Right.
to leave the existing sewer laterals in.
And the conversation that we would have with these property owners is, if you don't want to grant those easements, we cannot provide you sewer service. Essentially.
so essentially those laterals are crossing over in the 16 feet that is theoretically owned by Phillips. the laterals from Stone and Gilbert.
Yeah, so what it looks like, I'll show it and John can share it, but the lateral comes out, goes to here at an angle. This is his already, and then the other one is approximately right
Okay.
there.
So we're still primarily dealing with the 16 feet.
So we can't grant or request an easement from one property owner to another. We can only get our main line. But then the other property owner of tax lot 900 is gonna have to grant the easement for the sewer hookup through his property to the other two.
Which means that if those need repairing, people would have to get in there to repair those.
Right, because there is, usually it's at the property line, but
Right.
this is gonna lie inside of an easement. So generally, they're responsible for the lateral all the way to the main line.
Well, I like Chief's suggestion that we approach the property owners without the lawyers and kind of explain the situation and say, you know, best outcome is easement. If you can't grant us that easement, then we can't continue to provide you sewer service.
Well, I don't know how much I wanna say.
Yeah,
You would have to get all 4 property owners to agree to the easement.
yes, you
You
would.
can't get one
No, we need all four,
because they
No,
all own it. They all own it.
according to the warranty deed.
But I don't
Yes.
think there's gonna be much resistance
But-
if we send them a letter and say, we need this easement so that we can fix your sewer. I don't see reasonable people saying, no, I don't wanna do
Right.
that
Right.
because now I don't have
But I
sewer
mean,
service.
you can't
But
just
you're not
approach
correct.
Phillips.
it's not, Gilbreth, the property up there,
Yes,
that sewer line still does not lay into their lot, even though their lot lines.
but they own the 16 feet, just like the others do.
According to the warranty deed.
Yeah.
Again, I think let's start with the easy step and then we'll find out what they reply at.
It's not what the tax assessor's office is.
Well, let's just send a letter.
According to them, talk to, looking at, right? Talk to Rob,
Dr. Rod and Jasper.
and they say that those are deeded. If you look at the other one I attached, those are deeded. That's, I'm telling you what the tax
A
says.
warranty deed.
That's not.
Then,
I don't think it's gonna cause any harm to send it to all 4 and get an easement off of all
Well-
4 in case this is the prevalent document that says they all own it.
Just until 2 days ago, nobody knew that other document even existed.
we're gonna have to get some clarification from, that's the tax assessor is saying that, or who's saying it?
What's the actual official department?
Jasper Lynn's department,
No,
Johnny wrote,
No, talking about the paperwork that we got from Rob.
right. So that is actually off the county assessor's website. It is actually the official survey that was done June 14th, 1987.
So,
That is showing the property lines. Each property, 800, 900, 1,000 were given an 11-foot extension, and lot 1,200 was given a 5-foot extension on the full length of their property. They all 3 own those portions within their lot lines according to the county. And
and I think they're wrong. If they have another document that supplants the warranty deed that's attached to this, fine. That was subsequent to, but if this warranty deed is what's covered, they all have an interest in it. In each one of those pieces. They're
We're
not
not-
exclusive.
We're not disputing that fact. What we're, the different offices of the county have different information.
Yes,
So,
they need to get on the same page.
yeah, and that's what's making this, that's why this needs to be on the end of the board, because that's how we've been getting it all week is piece.
Do we need a motion? What do you want? Motion?
Well, in my mind, the county needs to straighten it out from the point of view of they're all on the same page. Because if we go in and say, all right, we'd like to have all 4 of you do this, and if anybody objects and they say, well, I own it and I don't want to do it, and the county has conflicting ideas on it, what? It blows up in a sense. I didn't know you can strong arm them and say, yeah, well, you're not gonna have sewer.
John,
Yes,
I think for purposes of this board meeting, we've been informed of the situation. We've been informed there are questions that aren't answered. Dan has informed us that he's still talking with the county, trying to get some answers. There's
Yes.
nothing on the table for us to decide yet.
I
So-
agree. I totally agree.
Let Dan go forward with his investigation, and as things come up that he needs guidance on, or would like guidance, he can bring it to us.
Absolutely.
Right now, I'm trying to get all the county departments that's involved in this to all have the same information. And I'm getting just piecemeals from different
Right.
county departments. There might be more in here. There might have been something from the county commissioners, which I think Clark was alluding to, that if we could get those documents, it might already say that there was a stipulation in there of some sort that you had to grant the easements to the.
We
So
can,
if
we
we're-
could probably ask- we could probably ask the county commissioner's office if they would do a search of their agendas for the relevant time periods. Just ask Rachel. She's willing to do that.
We tried. No, they won't.
Well, they're public documents.
Hang on. Go ahead.
They are, Jerry, you're absolutely right about them being public documents. I actually did a lot of the research on this, and I contacted Jasper Lynn at the county, and he officially put in the request to the commissioner's office so he could also get the documents, because this property owner is also calling the county. So right now, these documents from the commissioner that we're looking for do not exist
So we had to ask,
at all.
they're telling us we have to get, I can't remember the code, J something request, J88 or something request.
Right.
But we had to get from the county public works. We're in that process right now. So we're still trying to get to the commissioner's decision on that vacation back when they did. So I think there's more documents coming. It's just they're not relatively available. So I think before we move forward on the property lane, which we may get contacted by, we've already been contacted by one who wants an easement through there. But the adjacent ones have not contacted us yet. So that's what blew all this open. But the county doesn't have all the information in one spot. All I'm hearing from the county is records weren't kept very well back then. So it's gonna be some substantial work, I think, to get the rest of the answers to this puzzle. But I will tell you from state, you cannot privatize that line with more than one connection to it. And I am in the process of looking to move their connections to different lines if possible. And just leave that as private, lateral.
So,
It's just options.
Are there other lines that these properties could connect to? I thought you said there was one on Craft.
Well, the Gilbreth can probably, now it has to do with elevations and depth of lines. So I have more work to do, but we might be able to take tax lot 1000 and take it across Crab Avenue and tie into the manhole out the street, depending on the distance. I haven't checked it all.
I have a question. Jim, do you have any comment at this time?
No.
Okay. What I'd like to do is table the whole matter and collect more information and then revisit this at our next board meeting, if everybody's in agreement. So I'm not sure that it's time to now go out to the property owners. The sewer works, right?
Sewer works, all their houses are connected.
And
I'm
then,
informing the board of an issue we have,
right,
is what I'm doing. I really wasn't asking for a decision tonight. I'm informing the board of the situation. And it's still an ongoing investigation on our side to find out.
so does anybody have any further comment in regard to this matter?
Nope.
All right, so we'll table the matter and put it on the agenda for next month. And hopefully we'll have more information and be able to formulate a course of action. Agree, Jerry?
Agree.
Okay, so next you can make a decision on. So, I talked to the county road department. Jerry and I have been on this site up there when they first cut open Portland. And they had no permits. They encroached and we have a 5 foot wide permanent easement for our sewer line running down through there. I don't know if there's more of a width of easement there because the county also has storm drainage running down through that area as well. And they filled it all in. You saw the as-built, for 1600 Portland Avenue that I've attached. It's not an as-built. As you can tell by the date, 1/9/26, they just drew this up. And it does not reflect accurately where our sewer line is at. I had a conversation with the contractor for the property owners. And I said, I don't know where you got your information for a so-called as-built, but the sewer line is wrong. And he said, well, we just took measurements and just drew straight lines on here, assuming our sewer line does not run like that. It's more shallow up towards his middle gate, removable wall, I guess you want to call it. I don't know what the distance is there, Clarence. And then it breaks and makes a dive down to the lower Mansfield. The counties want to have it all removed. They want the property owners to remove all the fill, everything that they stuck in there without a permit. Because they did it without, any permits, anything structural here, concrete, steel walls. We don't know where the depth is on top of our line. Now, our line is built out of ductile iron. So it's a little more robust than the concrete or PVC. We have TV inspected it. It is still round. It hasn't been crushed anywhere. We also inspected the storm drain for the county. It has not been crushed at all. It doesn't look like. But this doesn't belong in there. You have no way of ever maintaining this again. So if we had to go in there and repair this line, do the material it's made of, which is ductile iron, you can't do it underground by pipe bursting. You would have to open cut it, or you would have to directional drill in and a whole new sewer line and pull it through the mountain, pull it down through the hill. So I think that we should back the county on their request and just have all of it removed back out of there since it was put in without permission and without permits.
What does the county want to do after it's all taken out? What's their end game?
They'll have to get a permit to properly fill it because we've had issues with erosion and drainage problems. It washed out the road next to the Blue Agate, and we've had a lot of issues with debris coming down. So I think Sarah's plan is to make them dig it out and do it correctly. They just threw a bunch of debris in. They're gonna have to do it with rock fill and actually.
And we have no idea what they built there. It's all buried. It's all backfilled. It's got underground sprinkler systems and landscaping and everything. So when they first dug it out, Jerry was down there with me. We saw where they exposed our sewer line on one side. So they were well into the easement at that point. And they covered all that back up. But then, and I told them on site, you can't put anything permanent from your parking area over to your house. You can put a wood walkway if you want or something, but nothing permanent. They poured concrete and bolted in steel walls. Okay, if we had to get in there, then we're gonna pay to unbolt those walls and dig all this out.
Is there an option of just, rather than telling them to remove it all, to say, if we ever need to service this, it is entirely up to you to pay for these repairs?
Yes, that's an option. It would go against what the county wants, but yes, it's an option.
Do we know?
Yeah, wasn't that what you and I saw? Is that the same lines we're talking about now? Because that was over in the middle. I thought this one was on the edge.
No, it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle. It's
Right.
just when they excavated, what you and I saw, they excavated over too far. Is
Okay.
what they did.
Yeah, and we could not have been clearer, and you could not have been clearer. And I know that the county, as part of its building permit process, makes the landowner sign a hold harmless agreement that says if anything is found to have been built not in conformance with permits or without permits, that the landowner agrees that they will absorb the cost of removing everything. The county, there's not going to be any lawsuits about this that the county has to worry about losing, because they have them sign an agreement ahead of time that that's the remedy. So I guess I agree, we should piggyback on the county's um, actions, and they probably have already figured out, what they can and can't do, and they're pretty cautious. So I recommend we just say, yeah, us too, and like you said, back what they're doing.
Because we don't know exactly what they're gonna do, whether they're gonna make a demand or do something else, do we? As far as what the county is actually gonna commit to in writing.
Right, so, they just came to their conclusion with their legal counsel, and I think probably the commissioner, or what they're presenting to the commissioners, but they're moving forward with having the contractor homeowner remove all of it.
Okay, so,
And then let's just be sure and ask them if they will make us a party to all of their meetings and correspondence on the issue. Ask them if we can just
All right.
couple with them and be a party just like they are to the negotiations, so that we're completely apprised of what's happening and have some say in it.
If that's the board decision, that's what I'm supposed to call the county back and let them know what the district's position is on that.
I support that position.
okay, I guess I don't think we need a formal resolution at this time. But is it the consensus of the board to support the position of the county in regard to 1600 Portland Avenue?
Yes.
I think that might take a motion.
All right,
Yeah,
so, all right, so,
Want me to make a motion?
I'll move that we authorize Dan to communicate with the county and express that we are in alignment with them on the way to proceed at this point, and the goal of removing the structures at the owner's expense. And that we ask them to make us a party to their discussions going forward, so that we are apprised of and a part of any decisions about it to resolve it.
I second that.
well, he made the motion, so
I'm seconding his motions.
okay.
And Aaron, did you get all of that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, it's on recorded too.
Keep going.
So, so all in favor of is there any more discussion? If there is none, all in favor of the motion that Jerry's proposed, say aye.
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 Next, Cougar Ridge Development is moving into their phase 2 and 3. They have submitted plans to the engineers to review and to me, and we're just now starting on that. So I just wanted the board aware that Cougar Ridge is going to finish off their last 2 phases, or they plan to. But I don't have anything yet exactly. I think it's 25 lots, but the owner contacted me and he wanted to know if he could, some lots he could split, so there might be more than that. It's not going to change the loading of the pipe size. Pump station. The main pump station is still having a flow failure, but we had a failure today. We no longer have one set of pumps that work at all together. It looks like a soft start that was replaced back in March or April or March or something like that has failed. And I'm having Tag come up with the guy that put all the stuff in. and recheck that panel. I don't know if this is gonna go back into damage that happened to it before. This is the same one that burned out that last stop start. So we're having, electrician come in and verify that the stop start is just not bad and it's gonna be under warranty to fix that. Or if it's damaged from something else that's damaged in that panel.
And which pump station is this?
The main pump station down below.
So in the meantime, do we have no backup if the other line fails?
So we don't have that pump train side that will work at all. But we can use we have a cross tie in there. So if we lose one of the wet well pumps, then we can go ahead and do the cross tie and use whichever one is still good. We have one new spare pump. If we lose a dry pit pump in the building, we'll have to put our new pump on it and swap it out. So we have half a backup. So we're not, as long as we don't lose more than one pump now at a time, we can keep the pump station running. It is 4 to 6 weeks to get a replacement unless because we have to have them built now because they're, I hate using the word obsolete. They still make them, but they don't keep them on the shelf. The current one that we can order and get in there in a week or two is actually $2,000 cheaper. And they can put that in and they would have the other one fixed and then we would have a spare. So, which we need a spare anyway. The pump station's aging. There are 4 pumps. There are 4 of those soft starters. So they were over $10,000 each. The new upgraded ones are updated ones are a little over, exactly is $8,948. So I'm gonna order one of those. It'll be here in a week or two, and then we'll have that pump station back up and going completely. And then we'll send the other one either in for warranty or repair.
So the time frame on all of this is,
The time frame we're hoping, if it's not more damage in the panel, is less than 2 weeks. So we're not critical, and what the board has said, we're not critical, but it is not running at 100%. We do have options. We can't change out wet well pumps because we have to get a crane in here that can lift those because, like I said, they weigh almost 2 tons each. Our crane won't lift them. So we either burden or get Xylem over with a big truck and swap the pumps out if we have to. So that's the only risk we really take.
and how long would that take if that happened?
It would probably, depending on when we can get a crane in here, but I would imagine it would be somewhere around less than 24 hours.
Okay.
But if we lose 2 pumps, we will be critical. We'll be extremely critical. So I don't need board authorization because it is an emergency fix. And it is our best option to get it back up and operational. Provided the electrician doesn't find anything else wrong inside that electrical panel. So right now, we're on, it's our bill to pay on this. If it's something to do with the previous damage, then I'll resubmit a claim back to our insurance company. Is there any questions on that? Okay. The Cape's pump station generator transfer switch has been repaired. All other pump stations are operating correctly. The lower Avalon pump station, the pre-design still has not been, there's been no comments back from DEQ yet. And it's not abnormal for it than this long. TAG has completed the evaluation of the NOSD SCADA system. It's pretty extensive. I'm about halfway through it. So I'm hoping to have you a condensed version of what is found and what needs to be repaired and updated. And we can budget for this stuff. You have an attachment, the NCC. I asked them for a maintenance contract for our HVAC system. And they sent me their normal one, which you see is for quarterly. I don't know if these are choices for monthly, quarterly, half, you know, half yearly or yearly. There's quite a bit that they do that we haven't had done. Remember, we just spent $120,000 replacing it. If you look at this one at quarterly, and I went back through it today after John and I spoke on the phone, and there's quite a bit that they supply in parts for this. Lubrication rags, coil cleaner. There is, I think there's 4 air filters in it that they will supply and change. The drive belts, they will. Also, they'll keep it lubricated and everything freed up. What happened to the last one is the one louver at one end seized up from the salt air. And that to replace that unit for us was over $8,000 just for that one piece. So, the maintenance, I don't know if we can get it cheaper and have them not maintain it as long or as more, 4 times a year. But I think it's an annual contract, and I think for the first year, we probably should do an annual. And then once we get down what are consumables, and I can talk with them about changing that to maybe a biannual or, you know, an annual. We just can't let it get to the point like it did this last time where it cost us, you know, $120,000 to change everything. And the controllers are more electronic and requires programming. What is good about this is they can remote in and make repairs on the controllers or adjustments to the controllers without having to actually drive out. And there's no cost to that. That comes with the system that we purchased. But we do have issues with some of the dampers up in the attic, which they already had in the first estimate, which they're going to take care of. They have to come back to change out some of those parts. It's operational. You can see we don't have space heaters running everywhere. But the contract I know is sticker shock when you first look at it. I was sticker shocked when I first looked at it, but I do know what these belts and these filters cost. And I mean, I can go back at the board once and ask for a different interval, but I would recommend for the first year that we do the quarterlies until we see how this unit does in this atmosphere and this environment. I don't know what the board thinks.
I move that we accept this contract for the first year of operation and reassess it after the first year.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion. All right, Dan and I had the conversation, and my thoughts were, you know, if this is gonna go on and on and on and on 4 times a year at every season, that seemed a little perhaps excessive. And I thought, well, maybe twice a year, but you know, Dan pointed out that that may or may not be enough, and that may also mean that they don't reduce their services agreement cost by half. And they may say, yeah, we'll do that at $5,000. I don't know. But it just seemed like, you know, here we are, we're 3 or 4 months from a brand new system being put in, and then they're going to come back in the spring and check everything all over again. So I'm wondering, okay, well, if that's the way it works, that's the way it works. So, you know, I'll throw it open to discussion, and whatever the board feels is appropriate. But it just seemed like maybe the first year that's very best ideas to have them come 4 times. But discussion.
I'll defer to Dan's recommendation.
Yeah, and I don't know how there's this, you know, there's a lot of salt in the air,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just soon have them check it out and make sure that salt air isn't causing more problems than what they might have estimated.
Well, I was in agreement with John, maybe do it biannually at first. I went back to this contract, maintenance contract again, and I went to Schedule C, it's on the last page. And it tells what it supplies in there for that and what they do. Because we had a lot of failures up in the attic for all those controls as well.
Right.
And so I would be more comfortable for the first year going with that, so we can see how the outside unit fares. Okay, maybe you can lessen that, or maybe they're gonna look at it and say it's corroding up. And that's what damaged the last one, was the environmental, for the outside unit. The inside unit just got old and became obsolete. But they actually reused quite a bit of the original louvers and stuff, and they just changed the circuit boards and programming, and now they can program it remotely. So they asked her, and they gave that to us on top of that. So they didn't have to charge us to come out here to do that with the controls. So it's a new system. I think that the maintenance contract, we ought to do the first one, at least for the first year. And if it doesn't require as much maintenance as they're thinking and I'm thinking, then we could probably look at a biannual or something and negotiate that down quite a bit.
any further discussion? So all in favor of Simeon's motion? Say aye.
All right,
Aye. Chief?
Who's I?
Okay.
Okay, so who are we authorizing to sign? It just says Netarts-Oceanside Sanitary. So you want the board chair, or you want me to sign it?
You signed it, Dan.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and sign?
All right. Okay, we'll take care of that. It's not on the district report, the office equipment. Solutions, yes, who services our copier, is saying it's due for a replacement. The newer ones are cheaper to operate. This one's really expensive. If you saw on your accounts payable, I think it was $1,100 for printing. It is having some issues, but it's nothing that I really looked at. But you spoke with Aaron more about it, for the office manager knows more about that. But well, I don't have any prices on it yet. But it looks like for budgeting, we don't have to replace it right now. But I think we'll look at it during our budget process, and we'll get thoughts on that.
In general, I would not be surprised if replacing it was much cheaper than trying to maintain it.
Yes, and the printing costs on this one are so much higher. I think you just saw on there, like it was $1,100 for the printing. Okay, that's all I currently have.
All right. Old business, Avalon Pump Station, we've already discussed.
Yeah.
Nothing else to add. Workshop update next month. We're gonna have a workshop at 1 o'clock. And what we are going to add emergency planning. And I would like each board member, if you would, write up some ideas to be discussed when we get to emergency planning. And submit that to Aaron by the Friday before the workshop meeting, so that we have those and can share whatever those ideas are. And I realize that a lot of that is going to relate to the community and perhaps visitors And Dan made a very worthwhile, valid comment the other day that he thinks that eventually this sort of thing needs to be a coordinated plan with Oceanside Water, with Netarts Water, us, and the fire district all together, as opposed to going just in a single direction by one special district. So if you would, that would be helpful for the lead into the discussion. And I think what we'll do is we'll go over the old minutes and see where we are with any of those items. It will have been a year since we had the last workshop. So maybe we can close out a couple things or further develop those items. Let's see. The IGA draft, we're still waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting for a response back from,
Right.
the water treatment district.
Okay, and then item D, you probably have my short memo where I met with Sarah Absher at her request to talk about ADUs. I went into the meeting thinking that she was going to say, well, we'd really like to see you cut your ADUs in half. And I was actually rather surprised by the fact that she said that they're talking about funding them fully. And the impact apparently would be that it would just, until they get that certificate of occupancy, whatever portion the county would pay would not be paid until the developer is issued that certificate of occupancy. Nothing is in writing. This is all conceptual right now. And I told Sarah that I would take it to the board and we would discuss. So
Now, you said EDU. Did you mean to say STC?
I'm sorry, what did where?
These are SDCs for ADUs or?
There,
Because I would thought that we had already made
It has
it.
to do with dwelling units. Yeah.
you thought we had already what?
Made a decision that we weren't going to give a break for SDC.
Right, and this doesn't. At least the proposal that's being developed, there is no break. The only thing that it would do is delay perhaps our receipt of the SDC until a certificate of occupancy is granted, which in talking to Aaron and Dan, there's sometimes this lag time anyway on receiving the SDC funding, right? I mean,
There's some of them that we don't get them till after they've been in there. You just have to keep on them to get.
so
So it affects the timing of when we get paid.
yes,
But other than that, we're always effectively, we do the work of these hookups and then we bill them and then they pay us when they pay us.
Oh, they pay it according to what John has written down here, what the understanding is. Because I asked John too, they pay after they get their occupancy.
So I was asking with what right now, we get paid a little bit closer to when we actually do the work.
Well, we get paid, once they get their permit and they want to start to build. But there's no really no weight behind collecting that. We just the office will keep billing them until they finally come in and pay. Some come and pay right up front. You know, when they come and get their sewer building and they're ready to go, they come pay their SDC.
And in this case, you wouldn't get paid for the amount of time it takes for them to completely build the unit and get a certificate of occupancy.
So the positive that I heard from any of this was that the county will distribute the money or somebody for the county. And you're almost better guaranteed to get your SDC.
Mhm.
Because once they get occupancy, then the county or whatever entity will cut the check to NOSD, rather than us spending a lot of time trying to get it collected from the contractor.
The only red flag I saw in this was under item 3, you say she sees either full or partial funding.
No, I'm sorry, maybe that was I didn't write it very well. What she's seeing is they may fully fund an SDC, or they may partially fund an SDC, and it's up to the developer to pay the other part of the SDC.
Okay.
That I probably wasn't totally clear on that. And my thought is, I want to see what they do in writing.
Mm.
You know, I would suggest we tentatively say, yeah, it looks workable to us, as apparently it does to a number of cities, but we like to see what this actually, the fallout as far as being what the actual written guidance is, because that doesn't exist right now. It's all verbal, and I think to some degree in Sarah's head. Any thoughts?
I am fine with tentatively saying we like the concept. We want to see a little bit more detail.
Yeah, because like you pointed out, number 3, partial payments or, reductions. As long as the property owner pays the rest of it, we don't care how it's subsidized.
But I want to see that in writing.
Well, no, you're.
Yeah.
Jerry, thoughts?
No, I agree with everything that's been said. Say we have no objections to them proceeding to develop the concept, so we can see what, in more detail, what they're talking about, without any commitment on our part.
Okay, I don't know that, well, I'd like to make a motion that I talk to Sarah and say, we tentatively agree with the concept that you're proposing. However, we want to see this in writing before we would agree or disagree.
I think that states my position. That's more strong than my position. I don't think we tentatively agree or disagree with it. We just see no problems with
No
at
problem.
this point, we see no problems with considering it further and seeing what they have in mind, but I don't yet know if I agree with this concept.
Okay. So no,
No roadblocks on our part, no obstacles we want to throw up. We don't see any initial factors that would cause us not to be open to what they're to seeing what they're going to talk about. So just we have no. Yes, we're interested in hearing more about what you are going to develop. We're not opposed to hearing more.
okay.
So Jerry, do we need a motion on that or do we?
I don't think so. I think we just,
Right.
just got the sense of the board.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll get back to Sarah with that information. And new business, budget committee, community members. I'd really like to we have Craig from last year, our accountant, is going to join us. It's not Sharon, it's excuse me,
Sue Miller.
Sue Miller is going to join us.
Okay,
Those are the two that we definitely have.
yeah.
I think
Sam Brown probably.
Sam Brown is as if,
His health is not good right now.
yeah, health problems. So we are looking for several new members to join us. And I'd really like to see them come from Netarts if possible. Because both of our members are Oceanside. So I don't know whether our board members from Netarts can beat the bushes and maybe come up with somebody, several people that would be willing to participate. But ideally, it would be good to have 5 members from the community to balance the 5 board members. So,
Jim, why don't we invite Philip Stone, St. Helen, and Gilbreth?
so, but anyway, if you,
I'll contact the group, the Netarts group. I don't even know what they call themselves anymore.
CAC.
CAC.
They'll be having their meeting the.
yeah,
The
you know,
community.
it seems like some of the nerve folks are getting more active into things and they might be willing to participate also. I don't know.
The who?
Excuse me?
Who?
The
the,
emergency
Netarts-
response team,
Emergency,
Oh, okay.
the volunteer response team.
right. So perhaps you all could check on that in the next couple of weeks and get back to Aaron. And I'll be talking to Aaron too, as far as possible names.
What about Rob? He's got some vested interest up here. He knows how it works now. Jerry.
I thought you were looking for Netarts.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but I
yeah.
mean, but I
But
mean, if Rob's got working knowledge up here.
But we,
Most importantly, Rob makes the best cookies in the state of Oregon.
That's, there we go.
Okay, Jerry,
I
that never crossed my mind.
I can confidently represent that he feels pretty much overwhelmed by the emergency and the indivisible committee work that he's already committed to and would probably kill me if I said he was willing to do this, but I'll ask him. He just left. He's in the bedroom now because he's on another meeting of.
here's the other thing. If Jerry and Rob go on a vacation of any sort, we lose both of them.
Not if, when.
Yes. So, I mean, it's.
Well, then going off what Jeff said, you could drop the cookies off on your way out.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
So,
No, I'm serious.
He has committed for the workshop, by the way.
so, all right, any other new business? If not, correspondence. We have the board members' public meeting law outline training, and I checked with Aaron, and everybody is current in this cycle, in that each term that you're elected, you have to have the training over again. But everybody is current on the currently, so I believe, right?
Simeon, Jeff, and Jerry are going to need to do it in this 4-year term, but
Oh, okay, have not done it yet, but need to do it.
yeah, so they're not expired, but you do have to do it in this 4 years.
Right before we retire from our 4-year term.
So when we need to do it, just send a message and we'll get online and we'll do it.
Okay, I can send it.
Well, you have 4 years to do.
Yeah.
3 years now.
Right. I can send it. I think it's only 36 minutes and it's on that Vector Solutions where you just
Right.
log in.
But,
So I can send it
but
now.
if I do it now,
You're good.
For the
Yeah.
next 2 years.
oh, okay, well, so send it to me, I can do it.
Do it.
We'll even get the chief to do it.
I will
earlier.
send it now
And
and
we'll
we'll
send some
see.
good stuff every week. And
That's right. And then remind me every 2 weeks that you send it to me every.
Just grab it when it comes up to fuel up,
That's right.
close the gate, don't let it out.
Okay,
Were you gonna mention any of these requirements that we learned about, like you can't drink or eat during board meeting?
I don't have them all written down. I should have, but but go ahead.
So
We can drink or eat if we bring it.
we found out public meeting law, you cannot eat or drink, during the meeting. What was the reasoning? Something to do with,
It's a benefit.
yeah, it's a benefit. So you can't, even if you bring your own, you still can't do it.
So we're talking alcohol or?
But they're
bottled
amending,
water?
they're working on amending it, right?
Yeah.
Correcting
Oh, yeah.
that.
This was
They're working on it, but right now it's.
an opinion from a state lawyer as the law is currently written.
I think,
We'll shorten the board meetings.
so I think on some of this, because we have to write some policies. The recreation policy for the crossing district property easements.
We should do that.
So should we do this list maybe at next month's board meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Put it on the agenda?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, because I've got 4 or 5 things, 6 things.
and I gotta go back through all my notes.
Well, you and I would get together then and
Yes.
or something. Well, probably you too. You were up there.
I was there.
All of the information from the
Yeah, yeah.
conference to the agenda.
For next March, yeah. And that will come in time for when we start our budget
Okay.
process, so.
Okay. No executive session. Anybody have any other comments? If not, we're adjourned 7:05.
I'm gonna just-
You can't.
So we're gonna get drunk before the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, they are trying to get rid of
Well,
that.
hydrated.
But what about pizza for our board retreat?
Can you, does it have to be an official meeting?
You can
This is just- It's a ludicrous interpretation of an existing law.
That's the pain.
Get not drink
Front.
Yeah.
alcohol,
Sir,
which is sad.
sir,
Oh,
and in here is
Dan,
Bird.
recording still. Adjourned.
You just, if you're gonna eat during a meeting, you just stay the meeting, suspend it, eat, and then come back to the meeting. It's such a